Okay. Ashy says, I feel like I could have done more here. I was feeling lost in the middle of some team fights towards the second round. I would have liked to send you a better VOD, but I needed one to send you since the cutoff day is Monday. As Tracer, if my team has already lost the team fight and they're regrouping for the next fight, when is the best time to start the assault? Do I push with them from the flank, or do I start my push earlier than them? So generally, like, let's say this is Numbani. I don't know if you even know fucking what map you're going to be on. You're on Nepal, okay? So if a team fight is over as Tracer, one thing you can actually do is spawn camp, right? If they took losses during that team fight, you can go really deep into their enemy lines and then spawn kill them. And then once your team is actually regrouped, then they push in the front as 5 and you push in the back as 1, and it becomes a 6-on-5 because you spawn killed somebody. So Tracer's in the unique position where in the downtime during fights, you can actually spawn kill people who are respawning. And I disclaimer, I'm giving this advice to a master's Tracer. Please do not attempt if you are gold. There is an elo at which certain strategies work, and there is an elo in which they do not. So if you are kind of like behind enemy lines, and there was a dirty team fight in which you lost, try and spawn kill somebody, and then regroup in time to join the assault with the enemy team. What if I'm silver, but know in my heart I belong in Masters? Get out. Get out. This stream, the viewers of this stream have faith in the ranking system to accurately place us at the rank we deserve. Have faith in the elo gods. They shall deliver us. They shall tell us the truth of our skill level. They shall tell us the truth. They shall deliver us from Dunning-Kruger effect. They shall open our eyes to the true ability of our hands and our minds, and they shall inspire improvement and deliver feedback upon our improvement as we deliver effort upon to ourselves, reflecting upon self-improvement and seeking the top of the ladder. Believe in the elo. Have faith in the competitive mode ranking system. So, Masters. Tracer. Soldier. Perfect. Let's get to it. Hit tab. You mouth breathing. Just hit tab.
Genji.
Fine. Don't hit tab. Not like I wanted to see what your fucking team comp was anyway. The sound was really quiet for some reason. I turned it back up. So nice. Your Zen already won the team fight for you. Their Moira's dead. Your Winston wasted bubble. You're on a good flank. Your flank was really fucking slow. Good news being, though, that you arrived at 3 blinks. If you guys remember what I was talking about, good. Excuse me.
Nice, it's huge. Ben's dead.
You were missing 12 health and nobody was looking at you. Stay in the fucking fight, you coward.
Force dead.
There's also a mini right there that nobody had taken yet. Okay. Yes, you should have tried to blink behind him. You're Masters. I would expect you to be able to do a blink 180 melee against a reflecting Genji just to disorient him. So don't just mindlessly shoot him to reflect, please. Just fuck with him, right? Force him to 180 and lose track of you. What is your ping? How did that Roadhog fuck that up? You have 120 ping. Or no, that's your FPS. Where the fuck's your ping? 22. Oh, okay. Okay. what I would pay to play on 20 ping? Suck a dick, dude. Also, okay, so let's look at where your team is, and let's look at where you are. Okay. So if your team, instead of defending, was attacking, and you were flanking in on them because there were a shit ton of people right here, and a Zenyatta right in front of you right here, and you were about to one-clip him after this crazy flank that you timed with the assault of your team, oh, this would have been... No, you're just... What the fuck are you doing? You're like 50 meters away from the fight. Take secret and flank and pressures from behind as your main team is pressuring this choke. What in the actual fuck are you doing over here? Take secret or take catwalk and get behind them.
Orisa low. Dead.
You say dead like that was your accomplishment. It was not.
Hog no hook. I'm dead. Nice.
Man, your team... Your team is doing a really good job so far, and if you lose this, I'm just going to assume it was entirely your fault, because so far you've done diddly fucking squat.
I need healing. Thanks.
Sorry, I just got tapped
My
out.
ultimate is
You're not even in a position where you can do recon, okay? Now you're just standing in secret, being useless. Are you just going to, like, light a campfire and have some s'mores and hope your team takes care of shit for you? You're not, like, you're in secret now, but you're only, like, halfway committed to the fact that you're in secret. You're not doing recon. They have a Zenyatta. You're not trying to one-clip him as he exits spawn door. Your aggression is pathetic. You're playing Tracer, and I can't wait to hit tab to see that you have no fucking medals.
almost ready.
You don't even know what's going on. The only thing that's happening over here is you've lost complete situational awareness of the fight. What health are your tanks at? Are your supports being attacked? Which flank route is the enemy coming from? Did they switch composition? You haven't even hit fucking tab. You are the equivalent of an ostrich or whatever those fucking birds are that just bury their heads in the sand. They're like, nope, no enemies here. They'll never find me in secret. That's why they call it secret. This is so frustrating.
I have a Hanzo now.
Okay. Right now, where is their enemy team? What is their composition? Did they switch off Zenyatta? Where are their tanks? What is discorded? What is my tank line doing? Are we rotating? There's no comms. You're not doing recon. You haven't hit tab. You're not applying pressure. You, like, unless you just had the urge to jerk one off real quick and you're just trying to play it safe until you've finished rubbing one out, there's no fucking reason for you to be this fucking useless. A Symmetra would have just as much, if not more, impact than you right now.
My ultimate ready.
Pretty low.
So we just heard Moira used Fade. Our monkey has gone down because they've been fighting 5v6 the entire time without one of their highest damage dealers. Let's see what you do.
Junker on Mega.
And it frustrates me so much that you could do literally nothing and then press Q and actually get value out of it and probably win the fight off of that. Fuck, I hate Tracer. She's so good and broken and overpowered, and you piece of shit walked up and pulse bombed 3 people after doing literally nothing the entire time. Ugh.
Nice.
It was a good stick. It was a good stick. It was a good stick. I just wish he had done literally anything up to the point in which he got the good stick.
They have McCree now?
They've been having McCree.
Oh, might be. Hey, you're right, you're right.
Okay.
You right.
Sorry.
Hog dropping in cave. No hook, no hook. Nice.
Good callouts. Again with playing mini soldier. You're not mini soldier. You are flanker. Okay? They've got a fucking Orisa shield. You're shooting from outside of your fall-off range. Add an Orisa shield! Please, for the love of God, flank! Please! Okay, we were talking about how a flanking Moira will demand as one individual more than one individual's resources in order to counter. Probably 2 people, probably 3 people will deal with a Moira. If you flank, you can reduce the pressure that they can apply to the front line. But by being a frontline mini soldier, they can invest all of their resources to the front line, and you are fucking useless. You are not even worth the oxygen you breathe at this point. Thankfully, Lucio is suicidal and kind of redeemed you.
It's fine, you only have to win 1 push. No big deal. Hog no hook. On the right. Can you push Hog? He has no hook. I blinked, but okay.
Only somebody with 20 millisecond ping on Trace would be like, I blinked. Fuck you, dude.
My ultimate is charging. Take the objective.
Hog no hook. Orisa lit, Orisa lit. Dead. Junk on point.
Best round 1.
Bombs away. My ultimate is up.
Score 1-0.
You have golden limbs. I guess tickling something from 40 meters away still counts as a limb, eh? Well, how long into this? What is... No, fuck. This is 4 minutes. Okay. We only have 2 deaths. Not because you're good at movement or engagements or anything. It's because you're not actually fighting anything ever. And you only have 13 limbs because you're tickling things and your opponents or your teammates are actually killing them. I think the pulse bomb is the only useful thing you did last round at all. And I can't actually see. Does that say 4 minutes? 3 minutes and 49 or something? I can't see because it's muted. But, yikes. Yikes, dude. Yikes. Yikes, 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 yikes.
You got the right stuff.
No, not the damage per limb. Damage per limb is only when we have, like, a ridiculously high number. But, you know, we could do damage per limb, right? You know, what is this on average? This is... what is it, like 140 damage per average per elimination? I don't know, something like that. Per elim on average. So, you know, it's not a really useful stat. Normally I use eliminations per... Normally I use the damage per elimination stat to enforce when you're doing trash damage, because you want your you want to actually have as minimum amount of damage actually leading to eliminations. Darth Sevenlaw, thank you so much for the resub. It's hard to explain the situation in which using damage per elimination is actually a useful metric, and I only ever really use it when somebody has like 18,000 damage but like 5 elims. Okay, it's 140. Wow, mental math was actually pretty good.
4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
Good flank. I'm glad we're actually flanking. You're probably going to turn right and end up in the exact same spot. No.
You fuck.
That's unfortunate. That's going to tilt you too, isn't it? So your aim is slightly better than a potato. You're about at French fry status. But yeah, could use work.
Fucking kidding me, dude. Hanzo Tracer left side. Nice.
The objective is now
Mara's low.
Check me out. Securing the point.
Go for Zarya.
They're on the right. Lit.
Go for Zarya. She's lower left. She's low.
Nice shot, Zen.
So far, your contribution to this fight has been 0.
Tracer is on lower left, like in that.
There you go.
Like in that.
So let's talk about crosshair placement. Something I can actually give you, you know, flaming you is fun and funny, but let's talk about crosshair placement, right? So look at the horizontal level at which your crosshair is placed. About that line, right? Bit lower. You know, I'm bad at drawing. This is about where your crosshair is placed. And this is where you want it to be placed. You want your crosshair to be placed on a line that intersects the head hitbox level. So instead of having to aim in 2 axes, you only have to drag your mouse. You know, if you had your crosshair here and the tracer was here, you'd only drag your mouse horizontally to the target. So your crosshair placement is shit, beyond shit, and it's reducing the acquisition speed. So if you have your crosshair placed in a location that is closer to the head or the target that you want to shoot before, you know, you've turned a corner, then it dramatically decreases the time in which you start to aim, in which you actually start to fire. That delay is called acquisition speed, and you can decrease that speed dramatically by always keeping your crosshair at head level and keeping it close to corners as you turn. So we're going to watch in slow motion so I can demonstrate just how bad your crosshair placement is. So it's good. You snap up to the body. This is fine. Okay. You could have taken... Well, no, she didn't do a single point of damage to you. Okay, that was her bad. This is pretty decent tracking. She blinks away. Now let's look at your actions as you try and turn this corner to re-engage the tracer. Look where your cursor is going to be placed. It's at the floor again. Look at this. And this is the corner here, okay? This is the corner here. So instead of your crosshair being arbitrarily aimed at the floorboards or the fucking whatever the fuck you call those things, it should be at head height, which is about here, and it should be about here. This is where your crosshair should be and should remain as you're turning a corner. Okay? Because if you had kept your cursor relative to that location, probably about half an inch away from this corner, at head height, your cursor probably would have ended up here and it would have been a micro flick right onto a target. But look at how absolutely horrendous your crosshair placement is. Look at this. Now you have to flick from here to here before you start firing. Whereas if you had placed your crosshair correctly, you would be here and you could just move slightly to the head and just fucking obliterate him. You blink over and you get less time. He fucks up a blink, but he gets the recall. And your aim is just waving back and forth and back and forth. Very much a French fry. Look at that, aiming at the floor again. Head height, head height, head height. Anyway, so crosshair placement. You need to learn it, and you need to drill it into you that that is what you do. On Tracer, on Kree, on Soldier, crosshair placement, crosshair placement, crosshair placement.
Sorry, is all around. Pretty much.
Hey, you did something! It's possible! Woo! You did a second thing! Woo! You did a third thing! Woo!
Pee on me, please. Thank you.
Do you think it's because IRL people like to look more at the ground so they make sure they don't trip? I don't know, I used to do it too. Maybe? Oh. Newbie to Overwatch and shooters in general, so this is teaching me a lot. What is your icon? That icon looks fucking cool. What is that icon you've got, Malaro? Battle Right. You can get an icon for Battle Right on Twitch? That's fucking neat.
I'm feeling angry.
Alice.
Unlucky.
Valiant
Alice,
effort.
tell me.
What?
Fuck you doing?
Like, I'm not even going to fault you for the missed pulse bomb. You blinked in, you pulse bombed, and then you tried to get out there. And the fact that if that pulse bomb had stuck, it would have been a dead push. Good idea, good flank. You fucked up the execution, but even the pros don't have 100% execution, so good. Good.
On point.
I saw that coming a mile away. Oh man. Somebody else in chat said it, but somebody else in chat said it earlier, but you really do use blinks for mobility when you don't have to. You want to be running into engagements with all three blinks available, and you already move really quickly, right? There's no need for you to get there like 40 milliseconds or like 400 milliseconds faster, because Tracer and Genji both have an increased movement speed. They move at 6 meters per second, not 5.5 meters per second like the rest of the roster. So instead of like going from 2 blinks down to 1 blink when you're moving around, I would only ever use a blink for movement if I had all 3. So if I had all 3, blink, but never use more than 1 blink in just general movement. Even though he killed McCree, shouldn't he have finished Anna? I must have missed it. Anna's a dangerous target as Tracer to pursue. Too hard.
I got that skilled. Buffer. I mean, I'm more of a. Alright, same scenario. Only one fight.
Whoa, whoa, Moira. Get easy there. Reset.
Yeah, Tracer and Genji are the only two characters that move faster. Yeah, absolutely. Harass, but the question was about kill. And at that point, you already got the kill onto McCree, who was separated, so no, your priorities change at that point. The point in time when it would be valuable for you to harass an Ana is when there is a strong and coordinated front line that is relying on Ana's heals. By harassing an Ana in that situation, the Ana either has to pay attention to you or heal the tanks and die. But in this case, there was no strong front line being supported by Ana's heals, so there was no real high value to actually trying to take the 1v1 against Ana there. You'd already got the McCree, and there was no strong front line. Is there a comp bad to play against as Tracer? Torbjorn is the worst to play against as Tracer. Yeah, Zen is a one clip. If you're Tracer and you can't one clip a Zen, you need to grind mechanics until you can. One clipping a Zen is the bare mechanical standard that I would expect from a Tracer player. You guys are so talking in the chat. I just want to throw out a really quick tip about fighting Reinhardt as Zarya. So if there's a big German man with big German hammer and hammer smash, and he's chasing after the slightly larger but not quite as large Russian woman with pink hair. So if you are running away from big German man, remember that your right click actually has knockback. So instead of trying to left click the Reinhardt while you're running away, if you right click his feet, the knockback will very slightly move him away from you until you kite outside of his hammer range. Pro tips.
Alright, let's get in.
Pretty low.
Oh, it's like me grinding.
You dead?
You don't even see pros one-clipping Zens, because the pro Zens are always playing near tank or having support. An unsupported Zenyatta should be one-clipped by a Tracer almost every single time. Especially if the Zenyatta does not see the Tracer coming.
Dunk low, dunk low. Why is there a trap there?
Ow.
How do we lose that? She.
I try to stay on 2 blinks. 2 blinks, 1 out of 2 CA to not waste cooldowns. Is that a bad habit? I would favor 2 to 3 blinks. I think that's what you're trying to say, is that you try and stay 1 or 2. I would definitely favor 2 or 3. If you have 3, you can do a lot more kind of like blink combos, reloads, and kind of link it into recall. Whereas 1 or 2 very much limits the amount of options you have in engagements.
Yeah.
It's just Junkrat things.
Melee part of clipping, yeah. If you melee to finish off as any target, that still is counted as part of the one clip. Yes.
It's fine. Just regroup.
Tracer can no longer blink out a black hole. That was patched. It's no longer a thing.
Just gotta watch the.
Oh yes, you're correct. Then deadly. Yes, that's absolutely yes.
4 for traps.
Okay, I bubble you a lot, okay, Reinhardt?
Much
Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, you really just all let that soldier just sit there and are you serious? I think they're all at ulti now, so it should be good. We're gonna push the left side. Alright, nice. Big. That's a big.
I knew that Hanzo error earlier was gonna tilt you.
Let's go, let's go.
On Winston? Winston's free. Winston's free. No, Ryan, what the fuck?
You're tilted and it's affecting your mechanical play. That's unfortunate.
On Winston. Winston's low. Shut up. Alright, very winnable. Let's go.
So this is what I'm saying about mini soldier, right? any tracer that attacks at the same angle of the rest of the team, I like to consider a mini soldier, because a soldier plays with their team and a soldier has higher mobility with his sprint. You're essentially emulating soldier, but with less health and no healing station. So you need to be setting up these flanking angles or crossfires or like coming in from behind them and whatnot. What the fuck did your Zen just do? What the fuck? This is a team please, but in the other fucking way. Calm the hell down, dude. Let somebody else get a few of these kills. Man almost got the soldier, too. Jesus Christ.
Take it. And heal, please.
Ana's low. No heal. I shielded you, Ryan, okay?
You knew that soldier was there, right? You knew that soldier was there. There's no way you didn't know. He killed 2 of your teammates. How did you not know he was there?
Ana's low. No,
He killed Zen. He just killed McCree. You're at 22 health, so you go for the Mega. And blinks are super loud. He knows you're there. He knows you're there.
I shielded you, Ryan, okay?
And then you shoot him from outside of your fall-off range when he has the high ground. The man managed to get high ground on you on fucking Shrine. Feel bad about your decisions.
Soldier still already on the left. There's one over here. And
Thankfully, he fucked up and didn't realize you got the Mega.
Winston's
Can I hit
monkey
him,
ulti me. Heal me.
unlucky.
Can't heal you if you get punched off a cliff, nerd.
Dude. McCree one.
Okay, it's fine. I don't know how we lost that, but it's okay.
You're on my naughty list.
New round.
Score.
That Zen is so angry. Man got a fucking triple kill.
Games are fucking up.
And now you're tilted, and now your Zen is tilted, and this game was winnable even if you just jerked off in a corner having a picnic, and you're gonna lose it.
Now show them.
I feel like they just got lucky there. It's no big deal.
I get the feeling you're not taking me seriously.
5, 4, 3.
This game is really fucking weird, dude. I
Round.
don't know what it is. Most of the games just felt weird today. I don't know. I was too afraid to go aggro on that Ana. Winston.
Okay, you arrived at the team fight with 0 blinks, and I thought you were gonna use one more, but you didn't. You let it recharge and just shot the Winston bubble instead. Fair play.
Winston.
So Crossfire, right? Crossfire. Come around from the right side or through kitchen. Crossfire. Don't be mini soldier. Don't be lesbian soldier. Don't be time traveling soldier. Be tracer.
Hi, bubble. Need heal, Moira. Moira behind you. Soldier's free. No
On
soldier
the
here.
point.
The objective is now.
And we're going to talk about opportunities here.
Need heal, Moira.
What is the opportunity here? What is the opportunity here? Did Soldier just die? No, Soldier's still alive. Silence! Soul 7! Thank you so much. Isn't that a resub, dude? I don't know why it's not showing it as a resub, but welcome back, my friend. Yes, kill Winston. Absolutely kill Winston. You have 3 blinks and recall. Invest all of them for a kill. Invest all of them. If burning all of your resources results in a kill, do it. Please. You have recall. You won't even die. Go in. Please. Chad even sees it.
Fire behind you. Soldier's free. Does
On the
soldier.
point.
The objective is now
I'm on the objective.
You got wrecked.
Play point.
It's too late. We already lost it.
On it. On Lucio. Lucio 1.
Wait for me.
I feel like this.
Explain Crossfire more in depth. Okay. Reinhardt. Team. Okay. If your team is here, let's say there's, and this is your team. If they have 5 people behind their shield, your shield is countering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, right? So this is a standard engagement, but if we include Tracer here attacking from this angle, or here attacking from this angle, the Ryan can no longer shield all sources of damage from a single angle. And if they don't have a tank that can block the damage, what they have to do is, you know, maybe the McCree, this guy, if that's McCree, instead of shooting forward, has to turn. But the McCree's not going to be able to kill you. So if they want to stop you from getting value, maybe they have to invest 2 people's worth of attention in countering you. Or if they don't pay attention to you, you know, and the Zen is over here, maybe you can one-clip the Zen. So what you're doing here is instead of getting no value here as Tracer, what you do is you set up a crossfire so that they cannot use the same resource, a shield, for example, to block both you and the rest of the team. You make them invest unique resources into you. Or, if they don't pay attention to you, you are in a perfect position to seize opportunities or micro mistakes in positioning, cooldown management. A Moira uses her Fade and her Orb at the same time. Easy pickings. A Zenyatta gets too far separated, or, you know, an errant Junkrat bomb brings the Zenyatta down to half health. Boom, he's dead. A McCree uses Flash. Boom, he's dead. It puts you in a position to exploit these mistakes from the enemy team. So instead of the enemy team having to use one resource to counter the entire team, you force them to use, you know, you are one person and it's going to take at least one person's attention to deal with you. So this is a 1-to-1 resource trade by numbers, but most likely if it's a Zenyatta can't deal with you alone. So maybe he needs the second healer to help him out. So now you, by setting up a crossfire, are demanding 2 resources, resource in this case being an individual, to the single resource, you, that you have invested by being on this flank spot. And if you are absorbing 2 of the resources in order to deal with you on the flank of the crossfire, that means that your team is going to have the strength and win the front line. You contribute almost nothing to a frontline engagement on Tracer, but you can reduce the effectiveness of the front line by setting up a crossfire and getting value. And even if they turn to deal with you, that value has been taken away from their front line and has weakened their front line, allowing your team to win. You honestly don't have to get kills on Tracer to win games. You should. You definitely should. Tracer is an elimination machine, but you can be a distracting asshole in the back line and get enough value out of those plays that the rest of your team can win. I hope that answers your question.
I feel like I can't do anything done here.
Is Crossfire relevant in dive? Kind of. So the thing with dive is that if your divers are here, so let's say Winston is a dive, and then we're going to say that the back line comprises of Mercy, Zenyatta, and Diva. What Crossfire means is that Tracer will be positioned advanced behind cover, and Genji will be positioned behind and in cover, so that when the Winston dives in, the Genji, instead of having to use his Swift Strike for mobility, can use it for damage, and the Tracer can only use 1 blink instead of using 3 blinks to get onto the same target that Winston leaped on. So, yes, Crossfire is a thing in dive, but it's more for initial positioning than actually kind of mid-fight stuff. So just the distractions worth it, even if I don't kill someone in the first place, distract them and then kill. Yes. So this is what comes into the concept of passive pressure and forcing. So if you get into a position behind them, you don't have to go for the elimination immediately. What I like to do is kind of get behind them and force them and pressure them. And then I only go for eliminations or kills on targets of opportunity. And targets of opportunity, how risky of a kill I can go for, is based on my level of mechanics, right? So you definitely should be getting a limbs as Tracer. I'm not going to say that distracting people is enough on Tracer. Tracer needs to be killing people, but it doesn't have to be right away. If you're behind them and an opportunity has not yet presented itself, please don't suicide. You are a constant threat. In the same way that Roadhog not hooking maintains the presence of the threat of the hook, and a McCree holding onto Flash continues to threaten with the potential to use Flash, Tracer in the backline having the potential to capitalize on mistakes is a gigantic threat that has to be dealt with. But if you engage when there is no opportunity to engage and you get punished because of it, that's called forcing. Be in a position where you have recon on the enemy team, you can see mistakes and you still get value because they have not invested tank resource to blocking damage from the flank. And if they do dedicate those resources to you, then it weakens the front line. This is why flanking is so powerful. So, if you've put one resource on the side, again, individuals, and 5 resources on the front, then people are either going to, the ideal, they're not going to be able to kill you. If you weren't mobile, they would just crush you 6v1 and then crush the rest of your team 6v5. But here, the reason why flanking is so valuable is if they don't deal with you 1-to-1 and then deal with the enemy team 5-to-5, then they are going to fuck up. So if the enemy team, for example, if you're 1 on the side and then the rest of your team is 5 here, and let's say that they commit 2 to try and dealing with you, as long as you don't die, this gives an opportunity for the rest of your team to go 5v4. However, if you're 1 and 0, there's nobody contesting you, but it's 5 and 6 here, then you look the opportunity to actually find a kill or can continuously get value. So if they're not dealing with you, it's still a 6v6, but you are getting more value than their 6 because you have set up this crossfire where your damage isn't being blocked by their enemy front line. So they either don't deal with you and lose, or they overcommit resources to you and lose the front line. Flanking is insanely hard to deal with. You should be doing it at every opportunity. Hey, it's one Cabal from Miss Pelt. I had a fun tournament this weekend. Hope you had fun too. Hope you didn't think we were BMing or anything. We had a great fun at the tournament. The Gibraltar game especially was absolutely crazy. Squid, thank you for terrorizing my butthole. You're very welcome. I will terrorize anyone's butthole. This is hugely huge advice. Oh, man. Yeah, if you guys watched the LAN that we were competing there on Sunday, Cabal was in the finals with us. He did good. Anyway, enough about flanking theory.
The Junkrat's kind of raping us.
You guys ready? Let's go. I think they're holding point.
Junkrat's right here. So free. Get out, get out.
I got Junkrat.
We're even.
I like it how you're so proud of killing a Junkrat that's using tired. I got Junkrat. I contributed.
Okay, let's not go left. Get out, get out, get out, get out. Mario, get out. Mario, get out. Mario, get out. Come in. Fuck going through this little fucking door.
Oh my god. If you had died after that man repeatedly said get out like 20 times, 11 HP.
Come in.
Waste.
Where do you
Waste of healing station. Huge waste of healing station there.
guys want to go? We have
Moira,
to.
what? Moira, come in.
That's what she said.
Hey, guys, like,
I must compliment you for staying in your fall-off range and not getting too close to areas where you'd actually get fucked. I was gonna nitpick your healing station usage to protect your Zen, but he did end up surviving. You're getting much more value on Soldier than you were on Tracer.
On Winston.
Your Zen did decide to suicide a little bit there, but you're getting pretty decent value on Soldier right now.
Moira.
No, I wasn't say... No, was he? No. He was in no threat, right? He was at 11 HP, but he was in no threat of dying. He should have asked a... Oh, was there a damage Moira orb coming at him? I don't remember that. But the healing station that I was going to nitpick is that his Zen was taking damage right beside him. He wasn't taking any damage, and he didn't drop his healing station for his Zen. That was the healing station I was going to nitpick, not the earlier one. The one that he didn't use. That was the one I was... The healing station he did not use was the one I was going to be angry about.
Winston.
Yeah, that 11 HP healing station I didn't really care about anyway. But not like saving his Zen, or at least giving his Zen sustain, was more important to me.
Winston.
Soldier's low.
Soldier one. Get on point.
Job. Junkrat's
We're both, two people on the left over here.
Get the cab on Winston.
Normally I would like to see you wait for Winston Bubble to be down before you Visor. You know, just little things you have to take care of. You know, even if you, like, if you're spamming left clicks into D.Va and you see her use Defense Matrix, more or less as soon as I see Defense Matrix go down, I pop Visor. Because at that point, even if she has any left, it's going to be down very soon. And the same thing, just be aware of what abilities on the enemy team counter you, and wait for those to be down before you Visor. You're not in any rush.
This McCree's over here too. Dude,
No,
like,
you
it just took
repositioned to
so
the high
long
ground?
to engage. Like, what the fuck was that?
That was tilt. That's what
Dude,
tilt does.
I don't have to win one fight now. That's
This is what tilt does to a good team.
such AIDS.
We have to deal with Junkrat. Remember that.
I read you.
That's one way to deal with Junkrat.
Nice. Good job. We don't need to push. We just need to stay.
Understood.
Soldiers.
Alright, don't get picked.
It's gonna come left side.
Yeah, it's in the kitchen.
Unlucky.
Come here and get stabilized.
Your carry is dead. Rip your Zen.
I think more is going to point. Yep.
I'm on point. On the healers.
Lucio one on point.
Junkrat's low.
Reaper low.
Junkrat one.
So 1 refers to 1 bar of health, or 25 health, of which that Lucio was A, not, and B, healing himself. Please don't do useless callouts.
This Moira is an actual fucking trash can. Can't put.
I don't know what the fuck that game was, dude.
Funny. That's what it was. That was pretty funny. Okay. Let's take a look at your report card. Accuracy and aiming style. Your accuracy could be improved. But like your accuracy is, I suppose, pretty standard for high diamond, low masters, which means that it needs to be better. Long story short, it needs to be better. Your tracking is fine, but your acquisition speed is bad, and your acquisition speed is bad because your crosshair placement is shit. So you need to practice turning corners with your crosshair at head height when stuck next to... I'm sure there's YouTube guides on crosshair placement. Just fucking search it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. But crosshair placement by far is your largest weakness, and needs to be corrected. You know, I went into slow motion to kind of narrate how bad your crosshair placement is, but it's hurting you quite significantly. Cooldown management and usage. Your healing station could certainly be better. Don't use it when you're using health packs, and don't use it when healers can heal you. Overusing your blinks, and then overusing your blinks for movement, not investing your resources when you could get kills onto things like low health Winstons. I didn't see any melee combos on Tracer, which is really unfortunate. You should be weaving melees into Tracer all the time. And then your movement patterns, you actually weren't engaged. You were mostly using cover for Tracer instead of trying to catch people in the open. So that alone, I'm going to give you a -1. What does this
I
say?
hit gold yesterday per your recommendations of playing Soldier and Pharah only. No one even looks in the air when I'm dropping rockets on everyone. Easy clap in chat.
You're goddamn right they don't. So if you're watching this right now, my go-to advice for anyone who's stuck in bronze or silver is fuck healing and fuck tanking. If you can't get to gold playing only Soldier or only Pharah, then you need to get better. So there's some there's the absolute minimum mechanical skill for required on all heroes is enough for you to get to gold on playing Soldier or Pharah. So you are the 5th person since I've given that advice who has come back to me and said they got gold playing just Soldier or just Pharah. So if you're bronze or silver right now, learn Soldier or Pharah or both, because you don't know which one you're going to like, and then play those heroes. Yeah, so congratulations, Fire Fanatic. Welcome to gold. You may stop playing DPS now, or maybe we have converted you to being a DPS main, in which case you should keep it up. But very much congratulations on making it out of silver. Congrats on gold, and hope that's just the start of your climb. Congratulations. But what if I find playing Soldier not fun? Then play Pharah. Or make a decision about whether you play the game to have fun or you play the game to rank up. It's up to you, bud. So yeah, I didn't really see enough. I don't think you have specific movement, blink patterns, or combos or anything like that, but I didn't see enough, so I won't give you another negative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1 out of 10 for mechanics. Going back to being a Rhine main, well, have fun, dude. It'll be a lot more enjoyable playing Rhine in gold than it will in silver and bronze. Okay, game sense. What role do you serve with you in your team? As a flanker, so I'm going to give you a -3 for that. You're not a mini soldier. What is your win condition for this map? So, if I was seeing my Zen like consistently get triple kills, honestly, I'd just go something to protect him and just escort him around the map. But your win condition is more or less on Tracer. It doesn't even have to be kill supports. It's just frag, outvalue the opponent, get a limbs, whoever they are. They're running Winston. Winston's just as easy for you to kill as something like a Moira, so may as well focus on him. But you kind of just did things. And I didn't feel like any of them really had a purpose or a plan to what your actions were doing. Like, you knew the general idea of what to do, but I didn't feel like you knew why you were doing what you're doing. What opponents do you counter? The only thing I saw wrong with that was deciding to try and fight a Junkrat who was kind of like holed up in a little area where you couldn't get him. You definitely want to fight people in open territories instead of in closed spaces. So I'm going to give you a -1 for like trying to fuck around with the Junkrat instead of putting higher damage out onto a tank or, an exposed individual on the open ground. But on Soldier, and then on Tracer, I never really saw you seek out anyone's particular to take out. But you did, flank and pulse bomb and all that, so that was decent, I guess. Where is the enemy likely to position? Did you do any of this prediction? I didn't see anything wrong with it either, but it wasn't really a game. Koth is always a hard one to actually judge based on predictions because it's more or less linear and repetitive. I didn't hear any ultimate tracking at all. Are you going to counter their plans? What did you do here that we could talk about? So one of the things that I didn't like about your Tracer play is that when they pushed in and pushed up, like if we remember Shrine, when they pushed up to our little mini elephant statue, they had Visor right there, and you kind of died to it. So when somebody is overextending like that, you can either get them as they're retreating, or if their soldier and their tanks are that far pushed up, they probably have poor support on their backline. So, especially as Tracer, if somebody is pushing in from the front, you want to be counter-pushing from the back. So apply pressure where they are not applying pressure. But anytime you would like get scared or back off because things were going well, you would regroup with your team and join the same firing line, and allowed the enemy team to pressure you from the same angle. So I think it'd be better for you to understand like the flow of how engagements work and try and push in from a side or behind them as they try and swap from defense to an offensive push. I think that would certainly help out your Tracer play. When is a team fight won or lost? That on Tracer, it's only like really, you don't have a big enough ultimate where it matters, but you were doing a pretty good job on like pulse bombing people between team fights, or right when they're trying to push in before the team fight really began. So I liked the timing of your pulse bombs. Your pulse bomb was probably the best part of your Tracer play. This doesn't really apply to Tracer. We were talking about strategies for do between team fights before we started the VOD. You used your ultimate well. You didn't communicate it, but you don't have to on Tracer either. So 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say 3 on Game Sense. And then positioning. Should you be using the high ground? Where on Tracer, no. On Soldier, yes, if possible. And you did actually return to the high ground between fights, so positioning is fine. Where are you when the fight starts? On Tracer, I'm going to give you a -1 for taking too long. So how, yeah, that's down here. How long did it take you to get into position? But I'll give you the -1 up here. And then you spent way too long in a position that didn't give you recon and didn't allow you to actually flank enemies if you saw open opportunities. Does your position help your team? No, especially since there's no recon coming from the Tracer. Are there health packs nearby? Yes, but you very rarely use them, or when you did, for example, on Sanctum, you used the wrong ones. You retreated to a Mega instead of the Mini that would have kept you in the fight. Again, took you a long time to get into position. For example, on Secret, when we were on Sanctum, your flank through Secret did not help the attack, and you actually took so long in engaging from the backline that your team was already starting to lose the ensuing 6v5. So I'll give you a -1 for that. And then you actually did have good paths of retreat on Soldier, but on Tracer, it didn't really matter. How did your position or reposition yourself during the fight? I'm going to give you 2 -1s for this, because anytime that things got chaotic, you went back to your team and instead of trying to maintain the pressure and continuously get value using kind of like enemy health packs for sustains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So another 3. So, okay. What to say about this one? What to say about this one? You know, and I feel bad too, because I understand that your mechanical skill that was displayed in this VOD was reduced based on the level of tilt and stress. Just another individual. It's psychological. If somebody else on team chat is stressed and the tone of voice that they're using is a stressful tone of voice, it's going to affect you and it's going to affect your mentality. So you were not in a good mindset, and the tilt or the anger or the distractions was preventing you from performing at what I assume is your highest level. So what should you like? Give me a second here. This is gonna be a pretty controversial advice, but I think you are too reliant on your team. And I think I want you to find an account or make a new account. I think it would benefit you to, instead of playing teammates at your own skill level, to play at opponents 500 or 1000 SR below you to learn the ways in which Tracer can truly hard carry without the assistance of a team. You do enough on Tracer. You get value on Soldier, but none of your actions directly are responsible for winning games. You never ever got the first pick. No, that's a lie. You did get first pick with the pulse bomb, but it was after the enemy. So you got first pick for your team, but it was after the enemy team got their pick. You're not getting first pick. You're not preventing positioning. You're not forcing cooldowns. You're not forcing resources. Tracer and Soldier are both carry heroes, and you're playing them just to play them, and you're pretty good at them, but you don't understand what is required from a DPS player to truly carry. So I think either find friends that are like, get 5 friends that are way lower than you. Here's an option that doesn't involve smurfing. Group up with 5 friends or 5 people from the Discord who are like silver, okay? So get silver and gold people from the Discord, and then go into quick play. And you, a master's level Tracer, and try and hard carry in quick play, you know, as a 6-stack. We need to have you learn what actions are required for you to carry games as a DPS player, because you don't have the carry mentality right now, and we need to find it for you. So, it's been a while since I've struggled to actually find some advice to help somebody improve. But I think you need to reduce your reliance on your teammates. I think you need to stop caring about the quality of your teammates, whether or not they are potatoes, because you had a fantastic team here. They were a great team. They're the best team we've seen all day. They did really well. They kept playing very well. And you still lost. You lost because they tilted, and then they lost because you weren't getting enough value. So you need to learn how to solo carry. You need to have that carry mentality. You need to learn how to maximize despite being at a disadvantage. So, certainly not advice I like to give. You know, smurfing is an option, or queuing up with silvers or golds. But, yeah, I want you to learn to play as an individual without the reliance of healing. Use health packs, you know, constantly pressure. Things like that.